Hi friends, and welcome back to my studio. If you are new here, my name is Tammy Ernest and I am a Longarm quilter, and here on my channel I share customer finishes as well as my own personal projects. So I'm so glad you are here. I wanted to show you some things that I've just gotten into the studio. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago that I had purchased some bolts of Minky, and those have arrived, so I wanted to show them to you. So first of all, here is white. I got two colors to start with. This is a 90-inch bolt, and there are nine yards on here. So I'm going to start with this one, and another color I'll show you in just a minute. So I did do the 90-inch wide. That way I don't have to piece any backing. So what I'm going to do is have this available for those who send in quilt tops and have not purchased a backing yet and would like to purchase a Minky backing from me. I will have this on hand, so I just need to know that when you are sending in a quilt that you would like to purchase your backing from me as well. And so the 90-inch wide is a great feature because if I have a quilt, let's say I have a quilt that's 65 by 72, I will be able to use the width-wise 65, so I would need at least 8 inches larger than that. So I would cut it at 73 wide, and then I have the 90 inches long. 90 inches, there are 9 yards on this roll, so I'll be able to do quite a few quilts with this one. So love the white color. And then I also have sand. This is such a pretty color. Such a pretty color. This works well with blues. If you have a blue quilt top, it works good with some lighter colors, maybe some pinks and things. It works well with batiks as well. Well, so does this one, but this one works well with batik quilt top that might be batiks. And we've done some bright quilts that have had this on the back as well. And so I just love this color. So again, this is the 90-inch wide, and I do have 9 yards on my bolt, so I'll be able to do quite a few quilts. So I'm so excited to get this in, and I do have access to more colors than this. I just wanted to start with a couple and to see how well this went, and then I can always add more as we go. Something else I received this week was a couple new design boards. These are the Hometown Holiday fabric line that Lori Holt does. Now, you've seen before, a lot of times I've made my own design boards, and sometimes it's just fun to buy them. They're already finished. So these are the 18-inch ones, and these are in the Hometown Holiday fabrics. I thought this would be fun since I'm working on the Hometown Holiday sampler to put some of my blocks on this. And I do find that I'm using the larger ones more and more. When I made my own, I made a lot of them that were about 12 inches, and I'm just finding for some blocks that I need larger ones. So I got 2 of these in. I'm so excited to begin using those. So fun. And then I'll share some progress on some of my personal sewing too. And for my personal sewing, the only thing I worked on this week is the Peaceful Baskets quilt block from the Sew Sampler box that I showed you a couple weeks ago. This is block number 6, and this is the Ohio Star basket block. That's what it looks like. So this is part of the reason why I bought larger design boards, because these blocks finish at 17.5 inches. No. Right now they're 17.5. When they're in the quilt, they'll be 17 inches finished. So right now it's 17.5. This is one of the other 18-inch design boards that I have from Lori Holt's collection. But these bigger blocks, they just work so much better if you have them on the big design board. So this is my Ohio Star block, the basket block. Similar to all the others, put together just like all the others. The only thing that changes, some of your fabrics change, but then also this middle part. Just a couple hints: when you're making this, you do piece the center part, all this as a block, and then you add your setting triangles, I guess you want to call them, on the sides. So when you're doing this, you're making 2 hourglass units. Now the pattern has you cut your fabrics and cut them 4 ways so that you have 4 blue pieces and 4 white pieces. I do not do it that way. If you layer your blue piece and your white piece, draw your diagonal line, you stitch 1/4 inch away on either side, cut that apart, press it open, and then you flip them so that you have, then you take those 2 pieces and you have your I should have made a practice one. So you have your blue and your white, and then you put on the top with the white and the blue on top of it, and you stitch in the opposite direction. Then when you open it, you have your hourglass unit. I think that's a lot easier than doing all those triangle pieces. This part down here has you do something similar, and I wish I'd done this one a little bit different. I followed the directions on this one, and I don't like, because they have you create this block right here. And after I made this, you can see my points don't quite match up. I tell you guys all the time, don't pick yourself apart. And then, but this one, and I thought about redoing it, but it was really late at night, because they have you make this little half square triangle right here. And then they have you cut these triangle pieces, join the triangle piece and the triangle piece. And if anything, I should have just moved, this one should have been up a little bit, but then my block didn't measure right. And I just don't like working with those triangle pieces. So I should have figured out a way to create this, maybe make a pinwheel block. I don't know, maybe make a whole pinwheel block and then layer them on top of each other, oversize it and cut it down. There, I just think there would be an easier way to create that. But it's done, it's in the quilt, it looks great. This is block number 6, so we're already halfway done with this quilt along. That's just incredible. Love the blues and the greens, very fun. This is Shoreline by Camille Roskelley. I did buy the whole kit, and if that's still available, I'll link it down below. You can buy these patterns individually, even if you don't get the Sew Sampler box. My pattern comes each month in the Sew Sampler box, so it's a real fun quilt along to keep up with, because once a month I get that box in the mail and work on the block. But if you just like the patterns, want the patterns separate, you're certainly able to do that on the Fat Quarter Shop. But this is going to be a really fun quilt. So this quilt today is from Sherry, and this is the Star Upon Stars quilt from Edyta Sitar. This is spectacular. I don't know how else to describe it. This is just spectacular. So this quilt measures 65 by 75. This has intricate tiny piecing. I know there is a template set that goes with this in order to create it, but I am just in awe. This is so pretty. So Sherry says that she used mostly Edyta Sitar's light and dark bundles. And I've got another Edyta Sitar quilt I'm going to show in just a little bit and talk about bundles as well. But you can go on laundrybasketquilts.com and look at the bundle sets that they have instead of buying fabric by the line. So maybe her Joy line, or maybe what's another one that she had? Anyway, you know, instead of buying fabric by the line, you can buy it by the color. And so Laundry Basket Quilts will group dark fabrics together and light fabrics together and red fabrics together and blue fabrics together. So you're getting some from all of the different lines put together in a bundle. And Sherry says that's what she did on this, plus some stuff from her stash. This is just incredible. And when I look at this, I'm like, I don't know that I could do that. I would really need to learn how to do that. And it just reminds me that I'm always having to learn something new. I was talking to a friend the other day who's also a fellow Longarmer, and we're like, there's always something new to learn. Not just about the Longarm machine itself, and not just about fabrics or learning a new quilting skill. It's all the behind the scene things that go on with having a small business. Incredible. There's always something new to learn. And so my video today is sponsored by Skillshare, because there are so many wonderful classes on Skillshare that help me as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, learn all those things that are behind the scenes. So like my newsletter that comes out once a week, That's all done on MailChimp, and Skillshare has a whole class, all kinds of classes on MailChimp that I can learn how to use that better. Another thing that I need to learn is QuickBooks, and there are lots of classes on Skillshare all about QuickBooks. So I'm so enjoying Skillshare for my personal things because I use it here in my business. I need to learn new things all the time, but then also they have all these creative classes as well. There's punch needle. I would love to learn punch needle. There's wool felting. I would love to learn wool felting as well. So many fun things like that. Photography. In my small business, I've had to learn to take pictures of quilts. If you're wanting to learn to take pictures of product, maybe you have small homemade things, handmade things that you're making, you're wanting to start an Etsy shop. They have an entire learning path, which is a curated list of classes that you can work through to learn all about how to sell on Etsy, how to price your products for Etsy. So many fun things, and always something to learn. And so you'll want to check out Skillshare, and they have sponsored my video, but they have also given me a link and I've put it in the description below, where the first 500 people that use that link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. And so that'll give you plenty of time to check out all the classes, whether you have a small business and you're needing to learn some of those behind the scenes skills that go with running your own business, or whether you're just a creative and you're wanting to learn something new. There's plenty of classes and all kinds of fun stuff. So you'll want to check out Skillshare. But when I look at this quilt of Sherry's, I'm like, I'm going to have to learn how to do all that tiny piecing because I just have never done it. It looks very, very intricate. So this pattern is available on Laundry Basket Quilts, and the template package, I've linked that down below. You'll have to check that out. And then all the fabrics. I mean, this is just absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you the back of this one. I like this. This is so peaceful. The front of it is such a beautiful quilt, and then we get to the back and it's very peaceful and a nice complement to the front. So this is a 108-inch wide backing called Tan Leaves. This is done by Marcus Fabrics. So it's just got the slightest hint of a tone on tone. So tan and a tone on tone. And there, I think you can see the pantograph on this one is called Paisley Flower. And I haven't used this one a ton, but I think it is so pretty. It's a very, so lots of paisley is tinier swirls in here. The paisleys are kind of skinny and elongated. And then you come back and you've got a few more over here. And I think this is so cute. So, so pretty. I love that. And then the thread color I used on this one is the 3004, the cream color. And that matches with the backing fabric, and then it blends right in with all of the colors on the front. Look at those stars. Oh my goodness. I mean, that piecing is so tiny. I also wanted to mention about Laundry Basket Quilts. I'm on Fat Quarter Shop all the time, and I'm always looking at products and finding links for products that I show here, patterns and fabrics that I show here. And I found these on Fat Quarter website, and this is Laundry Basket Quilts Twirling Star by Edyta Sitar. And this is like a PDF. This is a free PDF, and it shows how to create her stars that are like this. And this has intrigued me because I've had several quilts like this, and it just always like, how is that done? Are they Y seams? What is the trick? So it shows you how to add your strips together, how to cut those at 45-degree angles, how to join them into the star shape, and then it gives you the measurements and how to put in the setting triangles, or the setting yeah, they're triangles. The setting triangles around the star. So you'll want to check this out. You'll want to grab one of these. It also has Edyta Sitar's 8-point star. And it gives you the piecing for that and the cutting instructions. This is a free PDF. You can download it. And this can help you make some of these intricate designs that are just so fabulous that Edyta Sitar does. I love her fabrics. and her colorways and the quilts that she creates are just stunning. In reading about this one, the Star Upon Stars, she created this pattern from an antique quilt that is in a museum, and I don't remember the museum itself, but is in a museum, and she recreated the pattern. She was inspired by that antique quilt and that she saw and created this. It is just fabulous. So the blocks you can see are set on point. You have this very intricate star in the middle with stars. Then those are those 8-pointed stars. The 8-pointed stars around, some of them are cut in half, like they're set into the side. Do you see that? How they're cut and set in, and then you have a pieced border around that with more of those 8-pointed stars as the cornerstones. It just doesn't stop. It is just so beautiful, and I just love the burst here of the flower stars. It's called Star Upon Stars, so it must be stars. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You could look at this all day long. And Sherry has put in some other fabrics, not just Edyta Sitar, because I can see others that look more like coriander quilts fabrics, and because you're cutting such tiny pieces, you can work all of those fabrics, those small prints in together and just get a lot of color, and it is beautiful. Sherry, you did a wonderful job. And next I have 3 quilts by Loretta. Loretta said that she picked this beautiful quilt up as a kit in Bloomington. Bloomington, Indiana has a quilt show every year, like a 3-day quilt show. I believe it's in, I want to say February, around that time frame. Huge quilt show. They have lots of classes. They have quilts on display. They have vendors. It's a really neat event I've never been to, but I'd sure love to go. And so she said she picked this up as a kit. Now, this reminds me of kind of vintage linens, and she said she is going to use this as a table topper. Loretta loves to go to auctions, and I love to go to her house. She's local to me, so I love to go to her house because she's got so many sewing related vintage items in her home. Just beautiful. And so this is what this reminds me of, but she doesn't like to use those linens, the antique ones, on her table, but this one is a hint towards that, and she'll be able to use this on her table. So very cute. You got the cherries, the blueberries, the strawberries, and the blackberries. Those are panel prints, and then the yardage created these triangles here, and then there's a border with all of those fruit around there. A skinny blue border. Actually, the blue is part of this outer border then. So cute. So cute. And the backing fabric, she used some of that same border prints in the back and then added extra yardage. It's all came as a kit, so you can see that matches, that fabric matches. So I don't have specifics about the fabric line. But it's just so beautiful because she bought it as a kit and didn't have that information there. So for the pantograph, I used Julie Hurt's cartwheels. And cartwheel is a 4-pointed flower, or 4-petal flower, vertical, horizontal, stitches out in rows across here. I did make the rows about 2 inches because she's using this as a table, or on a table. She wanted something that was more dense because it's going to be laying on the table. Didn't want a big poofy quilt. You know, she wanted something a little more dense in there. So I did use white thread on this one. It matches the colors of the fabrics much better. And that is the Omni in the natural white. And I made these about 2 inches, if I hadn't said that already. 2 inches, it stitches out in rows. It's just a really nice addition to this, all the fruits, and without adding more fruit on top. We're just adding a lot of texture. The bubble type flower is just a really cute one, and love the way it turns out. Love the texture on the back. So cute. Final measurements on this one were square, 54 by 54. Great work. Loretta's second quilt is a flannel quilt. This is done in squares and all different flannels. Some are solid reds and burgundies, and then some are print. And then she has added a border around the edge. So cute. Quilting doesn't have to be hard. It's beautiful. The backing fabric, she used this really cute pine cone fabric on the back and then a little bit of gray all around the edges. So fun. Really nice. Now, she did say this was for a man, so in choosing a pantograph, she gave me full reign. I could do what I wanted. But because it is for a man and because of the flannels, I chose the Square Dance pantograph. And again, let me pull this in so you can see. So Square Dance, we've seen wishbone before, or two scoops where it comes up and does loops. This is the same sort of idea, except it comes up and does a small square down, or diamond, I guess if you want to say, because it's set on point. So the line comes in, does a small square, down, does a small square, and it does that. And then the rows, I shrink it down way far so that those rows are, so on the computer, when you pull it in, they're going to be like this. And I shrink them down so that those rows are intertwined together so that the top of one is going way up into the row above it and below it. My squares here are only about an inch big, but that's not the size of the pantograph. The pantograph is larger like this because it's got the diagonal lines coming in. So I kind of, Square Dance kind of gives the hint of a crosshatch. It took me a minute to think of that. A crosshatch, but I think this is a farm themed or cabin themed or fall themed or a man. I think this pantograph works really well for all of those. If you're a new digital long armor, this is a great one to do. There's no fussy points to match up, although it gives that kind of a look, but nothing fussy to match up at all. The thread on this one I used is the medium gray, and this is the Omni as well. So you can see medium gray. And on this quilt, if I'd used the light gray, it would have read as more of a white. But the medium gray, and you might even have been able to go with a darker, even a shade darker, go to the darkest one. But I kind of like the look of this one, so it's not too dark on the lighter prints. You do notice it on the darker prints, but it's not too dark on the light prints as well. So it's a good medium in between there. This is number 3024 in the medium gray. Now for the back, I did use pre-wound bobbins, and I have two colors of gray in my pre-wound bobbins. One is a light one and one is a very dark one. That's almost so I don't have a medium one. And so for this one, I actually went with the light gray in the bobbin. It blends a little bit better with this lighter gray fabric here. But even on this, it's not very noticeable. But I just had to make a choice. I either have to wind my own bobbins, which I don't like to do unless I absolutely have to. I like to use the pre-wound bobbins. For me, it's a lot faster. I know my tension is set pretty well on my machines for that weight of bobbin. And so I had to choose. Do I choose the light bobbin or the dark bobbin? For this one, I went with the lighter one. And medium, I've done it both ways. I've used medium gray on quilts where I've used the dark gray pre-wound bobbin. But on this one, I felt the light gray worked better with that backing fabric. So personal choice there. This quilt measures 54 by 62. It's going to be a great lap size quilt. And whoever gets it's gonna love it. So cute. And Loretta's third quilt is so cute. I had so much fun doing this. So like I said, Loretta loves to go to auctions and loves to find old quilts and that kind of thing. And this auction she went to, she found quilt blocks. All of these all of these umbrella applique quilt blocks. So let me pull it in so you can see it a little closer. Each umbrella is different. They are zigzag stitched around the edge, and each one was set on this polka dot print with the green and the pink and the tan. So I don't know how old these are. I'm just trying to feel the, there is some sort of a stabilizer on the back, so probably like a steam-a-seam or something. So I don't know how old these are, but she found these blocks at an auction and she's like, I can't just let them go. Nobody else is gonna get them. I need to get them and finish them, do something with them. Somebody wasn't able to finish it or gave up the project because they didn't like the way it turned out. But I love that Loretta picked them up and said, I'm going to finish this. So she took the hint from the brown polka dots in there and added very large brown sashing between the blocks and then horizontally and then around the edge. And I think this was a nice setting. It gave it lots of area to shine, you know, lots of sashing in between to really set off those blocks. And then she chose a white skinny border. That's a solid white. And then this cute brown print around the edge. Very fun, very fun. The background backing fabric is just a brown print. So for the pantograph, when I met with Loretta, I said, Loretta, I do have a raindrop print and I think it would be so cute. And she said, that would be great and I'd like some colored thread on there. So I've done this raindrop. This is called Pouring Rain, and I have done this pantograph before on a baby quilt, and I made it much smaller. This one I made larger, so the raindrop itself is probably 3 inches tall, I'd say, and it stitches 2 rows at a time, so it stitches this much at a time. So you're getting this raindrop, and then this raindrop comes up here and does this one back and forth. So the pantograph itself is probably 5 inches tall, with each one of those raindrops being 3 inches. And so when she said she wanted color, I looked at pink. I thought about doing pink because there is pink in the polka dots, but instead I settled on this green color. This is called beach grass. And there is a little bit of green in here. I like this green color with the colors. You've got some pinks, some purples, some brighter colors in the umbrellas. But I also like this because then it just kind of looks like rain coming down. I think it was really, really cute. I love this pantograph. I just had so much fun. So the dark brown has a lot of negative space. You're going to see the quilting really well. And I think the raindrop, did I keep saying rainbow? The raindrop motif is just so cute. With the busy fabric on the edges, you really don't even see the quilting unless you get in close, but then it is obviously noticeable on the back. Now again, bobbin color. I don't like to do this very often where I put a different color on the back. But in looking at this quilt, I decided to use a cream color bobbin in here instead of winding this onto my own bobbins. I went with a cream color bobbin in here, and you can't even tell. So from the back, it looks cream, but then on the front, it has the green, and my tension is really good. I don't see any little poke throughs. Sometimes that's can be a problem if the tension's not really good. You get some poke throughs where you'll be able to see the green. I think because this is a darker background, that even if some of these greens pop through, it's a close enough shade to the same as the cream that you're not even going to notice it. I think you would notice it more if it was a light colored backing and I was using a colored thread on the front and say I tried to go with cream on the back, then you're going to see those little pops of color on a light background or backing fabric. Because this is dark, because the shade of the cream and the green are about the same, if there are any poke throughs, it's not noticeable. It really blends in. So you might just keep a note of that. The lighter backings are going to show more of those poke throughs if you use two different colors. And typically I don't use two different colors, two different colors in the front and the back. But this time I was willing to try it because of that dark background, and it worked really, really well. So Beach Grass 3071 in Omni. So cute. It is so fun to collaborate with Loretta and finish this quilt. So if you're finding old quilt blocks in an attic, at an auction, finish them up. I feel there's history there. You know, somebody started a project, and sometimes they're rough. I mean, you think about, depending on how old they are, you think about the tools that they had, or somebody just learning, you think about your quilts when you first started. So don't be too hard on them when you see them. I think it's history, and I love to see it. So Loretta, you did such a great job. I also have two quilts by Susan today, and Susan has done some very intricate work as well. This is Bonnie Hunter's pattern called Good Fortune, and this was the mystery quilt along from November of 2018 to January of 2019. So if you're familiar with Bonnie Hunter of Quiltville, every year over the holidays she does a mystery quilt along that is free. The patterns are free during the time that the quilt along goes along, and then at the end, when the whole quilt is revealed, then she bundles all those individual pieces together into one pattern, and then it is for sale on her website. So pretty. So pretty. And Bonnie Hunter loves tiny pieces, intricate piecing, and the quilts always turn out so beautiful. And I love Susan's choices of fabrics. Now this one will look different. If you look at the pattern, it's going to look a little different because Bonnie on hers did a very big contrast between blocks, and Susan on hers made it much more even throughout. So the pattern is there, that you can really kind of see the darks and the lights, but if you use more contrasting fabric, you're going to get even a different design, almost like a kaleidoscope type feel. Susan has used olive greens and the turquoise blues and the rusts. These are all fabrics from her stash, so I don't have details on any of them. I love the color combination. I especially love these darker prints. I love the muted colorway. That's me. I just love the muted colors. But then you add in those bright pops of the turquoise, and it just is a beautiful, beautiful quilt. So let me see what other information she gave me. Oh, the backing fabric. You have to see this too. She did a pieced backing, so there is a lighter print across the middle, and then at the top and the bottom she's used this French general fabric. Oh, I love it. I love it. This one is called, so I took French in high school, but I'm not really good at French anymore. Actually, on Skillshare, they have language classes too. So you could take French. Maybe I should brush up on it. Or German. They have music classes, like you could take guitar or things like that. So anyway, if I wanted to brush up on my French, I could work at on Skillshare. So this is Atelier de France. I don't know. Atelier. So I know it's not English. We're Atelier, Atelier. I don't know. Pardon me. But I love the floral print. I love the color of that one as well. That little bit of the darker burgundy, darker red colors works well with the fabrics on the front. And also notice around the edge the setting triangle. Again, everything's set on point. So the setting triangles, not just triangles. This one is done in lines like that, using all those low volume prints all the way around the edge. Very fun. Oh my goodness. You all are just so talented. So for the pantograph, Susan said, now I know, she says, I know I'm learning in my quilting journey that the more intricate piecing on the front just does not show really intricate quilting. And she's right. On quilts where we have a lot of negative space, like we just had on the raindrop quilt, you can see the quilting a lot better. When you have an intricate piece like this, you're not going to see the quilting until you get up really close. So she wanted something fairly simple, something with some circular movement. So we went with Soho, and we actually did it fairly large. Let me see if you can even see it. So the Soho, if you are familiar with that, when it comes in, does a circle, it echoes the circle back out. And just as you're coming out, so instead of being just a full circle repeating itself, it kicks out this little point and then goes right into the other circle. Almost like a Hershey kiss or something, but not, you know, not a triangle shape, just a little kick out. And so let me see if I can trace it for you here. So here it comes in, here is the circle, get it straight here. So it comes, oh yeah, here it is. All right, so here's a little point, and then it comes in and does a circle, a loop inside. Those are almost perfect circles. A loop inside and comes out, kicks that one out, and then it does the loop over here, kicks that one out, and so it just goes back and forth like that. I'm not even sure you can see it on there. Thread color, did I write it down on this one? I used a cream color thread. So you can see the cream just blends really well right there with the creams. All the others, it's just, it blends in. You're not going to see it with all that intricate piecing. So very cute. Oh, you can see the piecing on there. Tiny, tiny. And this is a mystery. So now you can see the full pattern. But when Susan's working on this or others are working on those quilts, in time during the quilt along, you have no idea how these pieces are coming together. You just know you have lots of 9 patches to do, you have lots of flying geese to do, you have some half square triangles to do, and then at the very end Bonnie has you put them all together and suddenly you see the pattern you're creating. So you'll want to check out her website because again, as the holidays are approaching, she'll be starting that next quilt along up over the holiday season this year as well. All right, we'll move on and see Susan's other quilt. And isn't Susan's second quilt just as adorable as the first one? So this is an Edyta Sitar pattern. Actually, this is Edyta Sitar's book called A Season in Blue. Isn't that ironic? Because Susan didn't make them in blue. So she said she used the book, A Season in Blue, used it as a monthly sampler. So this has blocks from all the different quilts in that book, and then they're done in reds and pinks. So this is what I was saying earlier. If you need a stash of reds and pinks, you can go on Laundry Basket Quilts website and you can buy a bundle of her fabrics in these colors. Now I don't know if that's the way Susan did it because Susan likes Laundry Basket quilt fabric, so she may have had these in her stash, I don't know. But or you could pull pinks and reds from the different lines of Edyta Sitar. Lighthouse is one of her lines that has quite a few reds and pinks. Joy is one that has a lot of reds and pinks. And then other lines will have a few, but not as many, or you can buy a bundle that has do the same thing in the blue. So there are blocks from all the different quilts in the book. So you have houses. How cute. You have trees. I don't know if you can see that tree. There are several trees over here on that one. And then like this block, I don't know the name of this block. It's almost like a feathered star. Really cute. Done on some angled lines there. Across the bottom, there's another little house across the bottom. And then several of these twirly type blocks there. And then you have some larger stars. Some hourglass blocks, and then there's other prints across the top. There's some of these blocks. We saw these not too long ago where we had the the star, and then these intricate pieces here, and then this circle is appliqué on top of that. It's so beautiful. And then there's also some lines of small 9 patches, and then across the top there's some larger patchwork, maybe 9 patches or something similar. But I love all of this, and the background fabrics are all different. Low volume prints, some have hearts in them, some have polka dots in them, some are just tone on tone. Really cute, just really cute. And then down the sides, she's done this print down the side. It's adorable. I love it, love it. And then the backing fabric is so sweet. Can't get that to stay up there today. This is so sweet. I don't know what the line is. If I can find it. I mean, I don't know what the specific fabric is, but Edyta Sitar has quite a few different fabrics that look very similar to this. A lot of negative, or a lot of open space, but just the very delicate rose floral print there, and it's in like a dusty rose color. So cute, just so pretty. I think you can see the pantograph on there too. The pantograph on this one is called Moulin Rouge. Again, French words. And I'm probably not saying that right either. Moulin Rouge. I love this goes with this quilt so well because it's just classy and delicate, and I just think it's so pretty. So Moulin Rouge, you have a spiral. It's a very tight spiral right here. It does echo back out, comes to a slight point, echoes back out, but it's skinny and it gets wider as it goes. And then it has a couple other swirls, a little circles here, some feather type paisley prints, some more feather type paisley prints. And then it comes out and does that over here. It's so pretty. I used a cream color thread. You can see the fabric is very creamy color, and just love it. So this quilt measures 67 by 74. It's absolutely stunning. Oh my goodness, so many fun quilts today. I cannot tell you. So fun to work on. So that is Susan's second quilt. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you are inspired to learn something new, to create something new, to try your own hand at some of these intricate piecings, or find some old quilt blocks and put them together. Or even we had the flannel quilt, which is so fun because quilting doesn't have to be complicated. Don't get scared away and think, oh, I'll never be able to do that. You can start with just some squares of flannel, put it together, put a border on there, and we can do some pretty quilting on top, and you have a wonderful quilt. You got to start somewhere. So you can start right there. So if you are in need of long-arm quilting services, my information is down below. You can download the long-arm prep and long-arm prep instructions. The order form is there as well. You can check out my website with all of the pantographs on there. I'm continuing to add as I use new ones. I'm continuing to add them on there, and so you can get a hold of me that way. And I will be back here next week because every quilt is worth finishing. Have a great day.